In the vast tapestry of human experience, fear emerges as one of the most potent adversaries we encounter. It lurks in the recesses of our minds, whispering doubts and weaving illusions, stalling our progress and clouding our serenity. Yet, fear is not an insurmountable beast. It is instead a challenge, a crucible through which we can forge our most refined selves. The ancient wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that has withstood the test of millennia, offers a beacon of light to guide us through these dark and treacherous waters. Let us delve into the depths of Stoicism and uncover the ancient secrets that can help us conquer our fears. It is within this hallowed philosophy that we discover the strength to face our uncertainties, the clarity to perceive beyond our trepidations, and the courage to act regardless of our apprehensions. Together, let us embrace this journey, drawing from the wellspring of Stoic thought, and emerge not merely unshackled from our fears, but enriched by the trials we have faced. Here, in the embrace of this timeless wisdom, we shall uncover 5 ways to overcome your fears. And in doing so, we shall march steadily towards inner fortitude and unyielding self-control. 1. Acknowledge the reality of fear and darkness. Where shadows of uncertainty dance, our first stride towards liberation begins with a stark acknowledgement. Fear is real. It is a tempest brewed within the confines of our own minds. The Stoics, ever keen to strip life of its illusions, compel us to face this truth. Seneca, in his timeless wisdom, articulates, "He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a living man." In these words we find clarity, a mandate to recognize and accept fear's presence without allowing it to dominate our lives. By unmasking fear, we rob it of its formidable power. It is not an invincible foe, but a natural part of the human experience, a phenomenon to be confronted rather than fled from. As we stand resolute, we accept that fear will visit us again and again, but in our acceptance we also find the strength to defy it. We understand that fear is a reaction to the unknown, a byproduct of our vivid imaginations. And thus the journey begins not in the absence of fear, but in the presence of courage that rises to meet it. Together let us stand unyielding, our eyes open to fear's reality, ready to dismantle its hold on our spirits. 2. Control your perception amidst the trials of life. Our perception stands as the sentinel of our experiences. The power to see the world through a lens of reason and clarity transforms the very essence of what we encounter. Marcus Aurelius, a beacon of Stoic thought, reminds us with profound simplicity, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Here lies an unfathomable truth. Our perception is the crucible in which our reality is forged. To control our perception is to seize the reins of our destiny. Fear often thrives in the fertile soil of misguided thoughts. It flourishes when we perceive threats in every shadow and impossibilities within every dream. However, by harnessing our perception, we can reframe these fears as opportunities, a landscape for growth rather than a battlefield of defeat. This endeavor requires a disciplined mind, a commitment to view life's adversities through the prism of objectivity and reason. As we control our perception, we are no longer victims to the whims of anxiety and dread. Instead, we become the architects of our fate, casting aside the ephemeral nature of fear in favor of the enduring strength of a well-governed mind. Together, let us embark on this quest for clarity, wielding our perception like a craftsman wields his finest tool. We shall perceive fear not as an invincible giant, but as a mere shadow cast by our misunderstanding. In this newfound vision, there is a path to fortitude, where fears dissolve and the soul stands unblemished by the illusions of the mind. 3. Embrace the power of virtue in the crucible of life's relentless trials. Virtue stands as our unwavering beacon, our steadfast guide through the tempest of fear. Fear often festers in the heart of powerlessness and moral uncertainty. But the Stoics, those sage purveyors of ancient wisdom, offer us a transformative countermeasure, the cultivation of virtue. Epictetus, a voice of Stoic tranquility, asserts with clarity, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This mastery, elusive yet attainable, is rooted in the practice of our core virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each virtue is a pillar, supporting the edifice of our inner fortitude. They are the armor that shields us from fear's corrosive touch, imbuing us with the resilience to face life's uncertainties with unwavering resolve. Wisdom grants us the insight to discern the nature of our fears, separating the substantive from the illusory. Courage propels us forward, even when our path is shrouded in shadows. Justice keeps us grounded in our moral compass, ensuring that our actions remain aligned with our higher principles, while temperance tempers our impulses, fostering self-control and measured responses. By embracing these virtues, we do not merely cope with fear, we transcend it. Virtue transforms fear into a stepping stone, a catalyst for personal and spiritual growth. As we integrate these principles into our very being, we discover an unassailable inner strength. Fear, once a formidable adversary, now becomes a fleeting apparition, unable to sway the steadfast soul fortified by virtue. Let us therefore embrace the power of virtue together, cultivating it within ourselves to create a fortress of the spirit. In this sanctuary, fear finds no purchase, only the reflection of a soul that stands resilient, guided by the enduring light of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Through virtue, we transcend fear, attaining a state of inner liberty and profound fortitude. 4. Practice negative visualization. Within the ancient annals of Stoic practice lies a powerful exercise known as premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This practice, often misunderstood, is not an invitation to court despair, but a wise stratagem to face our fears head-on, stripping them of their veneer of invincibility. Seneca, ever the sage counselor, advises, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." Through negative visualization, we deliberately contemplate potential adversities, imagining the worst that could befall us. This exercise, paradoxical in its approach, prepares us for life's inevitable trials, diminishing their impact by rendering them familiar before they even occur. By envisioning the dark scenarios that provoke our deepest anxieties, desensitize ourselves to their emotional hold, we train our minds to confront these fears with calm detachment, transforming what was once terrifying into a mere intellectual exercise. In doing so, we cultivate a stoic composure, a readiness forged in the fires of the mind's imaginings. This practice is not about dwelling in pessimism, it is about fortifying our resilience. When life presents us with trials, we meet them not with surprise and trepidation, but with a stoic preparedness. The imagined hardships become less intimidating, their sting preemptively dulled by our mental rehearsal. Together, let us embrace this counterintuitive yet profoundly empowering practice. As we envision the worst, we arm ourselves against it, eroding fear's grip and awakening a stoic calm within. Negative visualization is not an act of surrender, but a declaration of our inner strength. In facing our fears mentally, we ensure that when reality mimics our darkest visions, we stand undaunted, serene, and ready. 5. Live in accord with nature. In the vast cosmos, where the stars chart their unerring courses and seasons march in ordained rhythm, the Stoics find profound wisdom, the principle of living in accord with nature. Our fifth and final tool to dismantle fear is rooted in this harmonious alignment with the natural order of the universe. The Stoics teach us that we are integral parts of the greater whole, threads woven into the fabric of the cosmos. Nature does nothing in vain, muses Aristotle, echoing a sentiment that underlies our pursuit of inner tranquility. By understanding and accepting our place within this grand tapestry, we align ourselves with the natural flow of existence, finding peace and a sense of belonging. This alignment calls us to live in accordance with reason and virtue, to embrace the inevitabilities of life without resistance. Fear often stems from our resistance to the natural order, our refusal to accept change, uncertainty, and impermanence. Yet, when we attune ourselves to nature's rhythm, we cultivate a serene detachment. We recognize that birth, growth, decay, and death are all parts of the universal cycle, not to be feared but respected as essential truths. Living in accord with nature also means embracing our human nature, the capacity for reason, empathy, and self-improvement. Epictetus reminds us, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. By focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot, we attain a state of equanimity. Fear's hold weakens as we release the illusion of total control and surrender to the wisdom of the natural order. Together, let us walk this path of harmony. Let us observe the stars, the changing seasons, and the ebb and flow of life with a calm heart, understanding that we are part of something vast and wondrous. As we live in accord with nature, we find that fear dissipates, replaced by a profound peace and a steadfast resolve. We become like the mighty oak rooted deeply in the soil of existence, unfazed by the storms that howl around us. In this alignment with nature, we discover that true freedom lies not in the escape from fear, but in the acceptance of it as a natural part of our journey. Together, let us embrace our place in the cosmos, finding strength and solace in the timeless dance of life. As we journey through the labyrinthine challenges of life, fear often looms as a formidable adversary. Yet, in the wisdom of the Stoics, we find a path to transcend this primal emotion. By acknowledging the reality of fear, controlling our perception, embracing the power of virtue, practicing negative visualization, and living in accord with nature, we fortify ourselves against its debilitating grip. These principles offer a holistic approach not merely to cope with fear, but to transform its very essence. Acknowledging fear strips it of its mystique. Controlling our perception allows us to see it as a manageable aspect of our reality. Embracing virtue equips us with the ethical armor to stand firm, while negative visualization preps our psyche for life's unexpected blows. Lastly, living in harmony with nature imbues us with a serene acceptance of life's inevitable ebb and flow. When woven together, these practices form a resilient tapestry, one that resists the ravages of fear and fosters an enduring inner strength. Through these teachings, we learn that fear is not our master, but a transient shadow that dissipates before the light of wisdom and courage. As we stand on the precipice of our endeavors, let us carry these Stoic tenets within us. In their embrace, we find a sanctuary, an unassailable fortress of the mind and spirit. Here, fear loses its fangs, replaced by profound serenity and an unyielding resolve. Together we step forward, free from fear's constraints, emboldened by the timeless wisdom that has illuminated the path of countless souls before us.